What's up, yo? This is Rom coming back at you with yet another car video. All these relationship issues really center on women wanting the same man. Yeah. And, and this is something known, but not talked about enough. Yeah, people talk about it in different levels, talking about the whole 80-20 thing. And, I talk select and non-select, and, guys talking about alpha, beta, dominant men, 1%ers and everything. And I would say, honestly, though, unscientifically, not going just in life, I would say the group of men that women actually want would number in the 30% range. And really, and even then, even within the 30% range, it's really come down to about 15%. And then the others, they'll compensate with like money, status, and whatever, as long as they have a threshold of looks. Like I said, I've never said money and status didn't work. I just said sex appeal works better. And even then, you just get more trouble. And honestly, let's focus on like the top of it, the guys who getting women, and they don't really have to do much. Because the problem with using money at all, women usually don't like what they get after dealing with a guy who might look good, got all that stuff, check all the boxes. A lot of times, they still don't even, they'll find a reason. As soon as they get past all the material stuff, or even the looks, they don't like what they get. They don't like what they get. So the percentage of men who are actually, like, women just go crazy over, change their life for, over, shoot. There's some both metaphysical stuff and some deep country stuff. Their bodies are changed for it. Oh yeah, certain men can change a woman's body. Oh yeah, y'all gonna ask about that. Shoot, a man rather, hitting a woman, right? Hitting those genital reflexology points. Shoot, she'll get more estrogen and everything. Shoot, in my small circle, we call it, she getting blown out. Like, you ever see some of those, like, real slim women? They can start out real slim, don't have curves, breasts ain't there. They deal with a certain guy. All of a sudden, they looking like a brick house. You be wondering what the hell happened. The elders, they be like, yeah, she got a new man. Get that estrogen going and shit. They ain't even work it out. But only a few men can actually bring a woman to that point. And you know what? It really is bigger than that. Because, one of my main things is at least getting you to that point or close to that point. And probably with a lot of guys, honestly, the best they can do is get close to that point, or get to the point where they're a viable alternative to the select. And that's really tough, though. That's really tough, because a man will be on pins and needles with that type of woman. But, I do what I can to help. I do what I can to help, because, it's funny, you get guys say, well, how can I get sexual career? How can I do all that? Reality is, a lot of guys ain't gonna get it. Reality is, a lot of guys, they can be better, but they ain't gonna be that totally select guy. And then they just gotta, I don't know, the only way I've seen a man, like, if he's like non-select, only way I've seen he's generally non-select, women mainly rejecting him, that he comes out in a happy relationship. And I'm just gonna be raw with it. He gotta find that woman who just click with him totally. Like, it's just like, shh. And you see it sometimes, because I've seen, like, sometimes you just see they could be both overweight, but they just click. Or both on the spectrum, they just click. Hell, they can be both ugly, and they just click. Whatever the case, they just click. That's the only alternative. That's the only real thing if you can't become select. You don't get most women, but you get the right woman. You know? That's the only way. And the thing is, I say, look, just become your best just to even have a hope of getting to that point. That's the only way. And even then, let's just be real. Most men ain't going to try to become their best to even get to that point. It is what it is. But back to the main thing, that whole dynamic of women only wanting a small portion of the population. Oh, and science has definitely bore this out. Science has bore this out because there's been studies, several studies, they're saying only 40% of the male population will typically put their genes into the future. And I know some people might like question that, but think about it. A lot of men out here don't have kids. And even some men who think they have kids, they the victims of paternity fraud. It is what it is. Basically, just a general thing. Women only really want, they want fewer men than the majority. Let's just put it like that. No matter how you slice it, no matter what percentage you want to use. But then that really is the overall issue. That's the issue. Because you talk to women, you talk to any woman, I don't care who it is. They got plenty of men trying to get at them, even when they say there's a shortage of men, or they got trouble, or they don't have anybody. There's plenty of guys. Come on now. There's plenty of guys. And you talk to any, I don't care who it is, there's some guy who's going to try to holler at her. And in fact, some guys, well, when I talk about women wanting sex, guys will say, well, women can get sex from everybody they want. Well, they can always get it. Yeah, but they don't want it from everybody. They only want a certain guy, you know? And, you know, some guys will think, oh, that's impossible or whatever. No, it happens. Just not frequently. Every man's not going to be in that position. And really, that's the whole dynamic. And it's not to put the non-select guys down, just saying, okay, this is the issue. And honestly, the select guys, they got the most control in the relationships. This whole relationship dynamic. In fact, and I said this, I've been saying this for a couple decades. The only way to really change the dynamics, one way or the other, the select men, they have to just say, okay, we're going to leave them for the rest of y'all. And even then, the women still going to want the select men, because if you look at even in the language of how women say when they marry, oh, I'm settling down. And one thing I found, like, yeah, you'll get some men who are saying that, but it's mainly women. They settling. The reality is most women are settling for a guy, even if they're in a relationship with him. You know? That's why you got so much infidelity and everything. You know? And, you know, men try to blame, too many men try to blame the women for it. That's just nature. If you want to blame anybody, blame God. And I'm dead serious. That's just nature. That's, you know. Now, yeah, there's been cultures that try to, and have, you know, did what they can to limit that. You know, to limit that, to get women to, you know, procreate with men who will probably be considered non-select. But, you know, that's the biggest thing that's changed. That's why you got all this talk about modern women and stuff. They really just going, hey, they just going back to their natural primal way. Now, guys can complain and everything, but that's not going to change anything. That's not going to change anything. Women going to want who they want to want. Because everything come down to that. Even the sexual shadow world. That's mostly women and select men. Man got to have something to even be invited. He can't find it, you know? Because when you start looking at the behavior, when you really start looking at the behavior, all the dynamics, they always come down to that. Even like, you know, women always saying, there's a shortage of good men. And then when you challenge them on it, they say, well, the ones we're attracted to. Even with that money thing, I told you about that panel I was on one time. And the conversation was about how come some of these men don't have some money and everything. But then you talk to them more, it's not so much, I say, well, plenty of men got money. You say, well, we're not attracted to them. When women actually say, in fact, I'm going to tell you what, when women say, oh, I want a six-figure man, I want that man making all that money and stuff. What they leave out is they want that man they consider sexually appealing. That's what they leaving out. Because there's plenty of men with money. Let's just be real. Hell, that's why I talk against like trying to use money. Because if it was that simple, nobody had problems. Please, every dude out here be working. You wouldn't have so many guys not working. In fact, I think I don't know for sure. I'm always working. I think, whenever I say I'm not sure about something, I think that's the reason why many men just ain't working. They ain't getting no damn pussy. They ain't getting no pussy. Shit, because if it was that simple, men be making up jobs and everything. But women only going for a small percentage. And, well, nah, still, even if upwards of 30%, that's still less than 70% who ain't getting it like that. You know? Or if you want to go 80-20. And please, spare me like the smart thing, oh, they use 95-5. I don't feel like jokes, because this is honestly a serious matter. Because you got that dynamic. Women chasing, see, and it's a simple pattern. Simple pattern. Women chasing Mr. Goodbar. Women chasing Mr. Goodbar. If they can't get Mr. Goodbar, they settle for the masked man because he looks decent. They could probably have a baby with him. And, you know, he got some money status. They get something out of it. They get some lifestyle out of it, bills paid out of it. And like I said, that's good until the mask comes off. She gets past it and it's like, don't like what she say. That's why honestly, that's why a lot of women have, they'll get with a celebrity or even a billionaire, and then once they get past all of it, or at least figured out how to get good alimony, they out of it. They gone. Or they do double back home and shit. You know, that's why you got that constant story of like some millionaire's wife cheating with her personal trainer. Don't act like y'all ain't hear stuff about that. Or some dude, you be like, well, why she with him? He ain't as famous as everything. Because once you got past the fame and everything, she was like, But anyway, that. And then if they can't get those top two, because let's be real. Like if you talk about the Mr. Goodbars, just raw sex appeal, I'm going to put them at 15%. And then another 15% at guys with money and status and some looks. In fact, they got to look good. Hell, the masked man, they got to practice body game. Mr. Goodbar, shoot, he can have a little bit of weight on him because sex appeal is an energy anyway. You know, in fact, some other guys be like, why is she getting with him? I don't know. He got something that turn on a woman sexually. Sex appeal is an energy, man. A lot of guys can handle it. But once you get past that, then they got to deal with the rest of the population. And see, that's why, honestly, that's why a lot of women are just funky with some men. And you know, even though I say I'm not down for going in on women and stuff, I actually understand why it's become a lucrative business to do just that. If I wanted 1 million subs, all I had to do is go in on women. You know? That's all I had to do. You know, yesterday I was talking about a crow getting that baby bird and stuff. I just saw a crow being chased by a smaller bird. I understand why I be seeing that now. Of course, if it's an eagle or a hawk, which we got around here, the birds just be like, all right, man, I'm just going to miss that baby. Anyway, right? But nah, that's the thing, though, because, okay, women, they want the top. They want Mr. Goodbar. Can't get him. They'll settle for the masked man. You know. And in fact, people have an idea about it. It's not nothing new. I ain't telling you anything new. Alpha fucks, beta fuck. Beta bucks. But then what happens when you like that, you know, something else, you ain't quite there. You know? You ain't quite there. You're not sexy to the woman. Or you don't got that money and status. You know? Other than what I said, unless you just find the perfect mate, a lot of guys just in trouble. You know, it's a crying shame, really. A lot of guys, they struggling. Or the women got to deal with them just for numbers' sake. If they want dates, hell, if they want some D, breaking the case of emergency D, you know, some companionship, or just for, I don't know, whatever, loneliness, whatever, survival. The women treat them like shit. Women, they want to have very little patience. Very, very little patience. You know? It's like he do the slightest thing, they ready to kick him to the curb. And those are usually the ones shoot, if they can get with them, have minimal sex with them, they do it, even if they get married. But he better double back home or something. And really, and I said this yesterday, every single day, women getting out that point where they feel like they even had to get married. I see you, babe. I better slow down. But anyway, yeah, got those flashes and stuff. There's a cop popo up here somewhere. But that's the thing, though. That's the thing. And let me tell you what, my only solution is, like, you need to get in that select category, you know, or at least develop yourself to the point you can find that perfect woman. Now, some guys thinking they want to travel and everything. Look, I'm just going to tell you the truth. First of all, a lot of dudes traveling, they just tricks the women overseas. For that masked man and everything. You know? And there the cop go. You know? So they just that masked man and everything. Yeah, they saw I slowed down. Oh, man. Just incidentally, like I said, remember a second ago, I said, okay, this woman's flashed the lights. I just gave her head nod. She let me know Popo was down here. A couple of our Barney Fifes in this area, they were on the corner with their speed gun out. And I caught sight of them. I was actually at 41. It's the 30 zone. I was like, up, slow down. And they know I saw, because dude kind of gave me a look. You know. But anyway, man, just getting back to that thing, though, man. I mean, I don't know, you know, it'd be a perfect situation, perfect world if every man and woman could hook up. But even then, you know, depending on where you at, it tends to be more women than men. It tends to be more women, you know, if you look at the overall picture. And I'm gonna tell you what, let's turn this around a bit. It's actually worse for the non-select men, because not only the women dealing with them only going to deal with them out of, let's just say, desperation. They can't get at the select men, but then the select men themselves, they want the best women. They want the best women. You know, they ain't thinking what I just said, hey, just find the right one, stay in their lane. They want the best women. But the best women only going to go for the best men. Look, if a woman is like a consensus like, you know, I don't really like that number system. I'll just say, let's just say she's above average in attractiveness. Let's just say attractive, because everybody got a different thing. Because I'm gonna work on stop saying that number thing. I'm gonna say work on it, because, you know, been doing it, all men been doing it since they first heard about it, for decades and stuff in my case. But the thing is, men don't agree on the numbers. Men will look at a woman, and I saw them looking at a woman on one of those shorts, and the woman said she was a 10. Well, first of all, most of the guys question if that was a woman, but other guys are like, nah, that's a 6, 7.5, 4, you know, all that shit. So the number system is useless if there isn't a consensus. You know? The number system is useless. But anyway, let's just say attractive. A guy's going to want an attractive woman. Okay, that's natural. He should. She want that attractive guy. She want that top guy. You know? She wants that top man. And she should. That's it. Because a woman's nature really is to have the best babies. In fact, you got a lot of women out there, shoot, they want pretty babies. I mean, let's just be real. Let's just be real. Now, they might mess with a guy. Yeah, of course, they'll mess with a guy who they wouldn't want pretty babies with. Of course, they're going to do that and have sex all the time. But even then, they probably get the same pleasure from him if he's looking good. And when I say pretty, just look nice. Not necessarily a quote-unquote pretty boy, because they be questioning if he even likes women. But depends, you know. And that's just something that stayed with him. That stayed with him. You know. So, you know, they going to want that better man. But the guy's going to want that. They're going to want that attractive woman. And then that messes up a lot of guys. Because now they got, like, sitting back and all the women, most of the women going for a small percentage. And guys typically don't want the women to go for them. And it's non-select. That's the funniest thing. Non-select guys don't want the women they can probably have a shot at. I'm going to say have a shot at. They typically don't want them. And the thing is, even though I said 30% earlier, it might be even less. Still don't come in here with some 955. Because I'm thinking about at my gym. Or just in the area. I know a lot of young girls. A lot of young girls. You know, just found out a buddy of mine work out at the gym. He's real sweet, always talk. Just turned 20. I thought you were about 21 anyway, but okay. But, you know, don't have a man. A lot of them. I was like, wow. But then they getting to that point. They like, well, shit. What we need a man for? We going to college. We got our careers. Because I be talking to the young ones and stuff, and they be like, oh yeah, I'm going to college for this. They going to college for stuff they can make some money with. So all of a sudden, they looking at a man, his money don't mean as much. His money don't mean as much. You know, they getting the degrees and everything. So what he look like and how he can make them feel becomes even more important. So that's the thing. And guys got to figure, and you know what, it kills me because some guys think about it. You know, I've heard stuff about, one prominent person talked about enforced monogamy or something. I don't feel like calling names. Y'all know who it is, just know who it is. You don't need to share it in the description box. I mean, in the comments. And I'm like, that ain't gonna happen. It ain't gonna happen. In fact, the real deal is, let's just say humanity is changing. And I'll leave it at that. Yeah. Because trust me, there's something I can say now. People be, a lot of guys will be like, damn, we thought it was over. There's some things I don't say, but I'll just say there's some definite stuff in the air. But it is what it is. Only real solution is become select or work to become select. And I've said it, if you look at a common denominator, it's still body. It's still body, because people will say, well, it's face. Well, face is easy. And there's a lot of handsome men who are in the nice guy category, but they don't have that body. You know, get the body together first. That's the beginning. Get the body together, work on that masculinity, work on that charisma. For the metaphysicians, root sacral, solar plexus. If anybody don't know what I just said, don't ask. For those who understand, no explanation is necessary. For those who don't, none is possible. But work on those things. I mean, work on being able to talk to women. You know, work on being masculine. Work on, you know, being masculine. Work on any sexual hang-ups you got. Work on that body. You know, work on your attitude towards women. Because one thing, ironically, about men who are truly select, they don't got no hate for women in their hearts. In fact, some punk motherfuckers might even call them simps because they don't go in on women. But I guarantee they wouldn't call them simps to their face. Especially those who, you know, especially those who think the select are like Chad, not Chad and Tyrone, but yeah, Chad and Tyrone, but also Pookie and Ray Ray. But nah, they just part of it, and it's not all of them anyway. A whole lot of them are non-select. Most Pookie and Ray Rays are non-select. And Chads are rare. Chads are rare. You actually got more Tyrones running around. So, I'm going to tell you what. That's the only thing. You just got to develop your best. And see who you can find, who finds you select. You know? And like I said earlier, unfortunately, a lot of guys ain't gonna get there. Because if you start off non-select, you can become select, but it's a whole lot of work. It's a whole lot of work. Because the Goodbar types, they pretty much had it in them. They had it in them. Most they need is help bringing it out. I know a brother just like that. Women go crazy over his ass, but he wasn't like that at first. But he already had it in him, you know. And then the masked man, you know, if you got money, status, and body game, oh, you gonna get something. But you also got to deal with any issues, because women, once they get past all that, they don't like what they find. Other than that, there's no. You know, other than that, finding the perfect woman, but, you know, you probably have a better chance winning the lottery. Perfect woman for you who just gonna fit like that. Because that's rare. That is, I mean, the level of rareness there is incredible. Because I think I met very few, well, I'm trying to think. Yeah, it happens, you see it, but it's rare. You know, it's rare. Find that person you just click with. But the only other thing to do is just work on that. And, you know, because I'm not, my nature ain't just to talk about stuff. That's the solution. You just got to become select. You know, and it's a tough road. It ain't some overnight thing. Some guys think they can just read a book or something, man. Hell to the no. Because that one brother had said he went from non-select to select. Well, one, he already had Goodbar in him. Two, it took him some years. It took him some years. It was about, I got to give him maybe about good 5 years before he got to, good 5 years before he even got to the beginning of it. It's a lot of work. Because a lot of it's psychological too. Because if you're a man who got rejected a lot when you were young, because remember the male imprint is up here. So, and it's based on first how the attractive women treated you. Were they cool with you? Especially one you found real attractive. Was she cool with you? She didn't even need to have sex with you. You know, it has to do with your amygdala. I always pronounce it wrong because I got that weird spelling. But that's that flight response. That's that fight response. That's why a lot of guys get scared, because they meet that woman and she rejects them harshly. It stays with men for life. That's why you get some men, they can be in their 40s and 50s still talking about some woman who rejected them in high school and everything, you know? Because their mind psychologically is saying, oh, this beautiful woman's going to reject me. So that's part of it with the man. And then the second part is who the first woman he actually slept with. Like I would tell men, don't let your first woman that you slept with be a prostitute. That can fuck you up. It's better that anybody but that. It got to be a woman who liked you. But that can mess a guy up, you know? That can mess a guy up if that imprint is negative on him. You know, and unfortunately, a lot of guys like that. So, you know, it started out that way for them. And then what happens is they didn't really learn how to interact with a woman. Or they ain't figure it out, and it keeps messing with them. It stays on their mind. That's why, you know, a lot of guys think they can just read a book or do something real quick, read a video, like watch a video, think, oh yeah, well, yeah, I just need to do this, this, and this. Get a woman, it's hot out here. But rolling this up because, yeah, car would have, I'd have had to turn it on back to roll it up. About to go in the store. But, you know, some guys think they can just do something psychological, as you know, they think they can just like put on some clothes, or even with body game. Like I said, that's just the beginning, and part of that is to help you psychologically. But that psychological thing, man, it take a lot. I've recommended therapy to a lot of guys. They talk about they have sexual hang-ups and everything. And, you know, some guys pretend like, I'm gonna tell you what, some guys pretend like that they at a certain level. Some guys pretend like it, and I'm like, nah, dog, you really ain't. You know, they think it. You know, they might get one woman think they're there. I'm like, because there's something, and I've never said what it was, but I said, trust me, I can always know when you're there. There's something you're going to say, there's something you're going to do. Like, anybody talk to me in person, I'm just going to let them talk, and I'm like, I can already determine where they at by what they say. You know, no matter what. Because I know a lot of guys be saying some stuff, and some are either capping or exaggerating. There you go. Anyway, but that's the thing. But it's that deep psychological thing. And, you know, it's deeper. A lot of guys, seriously, a lot of guys even try to get there. They better deal with those issues. That's the only way. You know, that's why you get a lot of guys, they can't figure it out. They do all the superficial shit. You know, it's like you ain't deal with the psychological thing. You know? That's why, you know, I see some guys giving some advice, and I'm just saying, and don't say I haven't talked about it. I've been saying some shit like that. I've been saying it. Some people just see what they want to see on one thing. And when people hit me up personally, they'll tell you, I'll be like, get some therapy. You got to deal with those issues. But if you want to get there. But I'm not a mental health professional, so that's why I say get one. I can give you advice to go find one. But it's the thing. And that's everything. You look at all these dynamics. People need to really talk about that. You know, rejection and everything. So, but anyway, though, I might do something a little different tomorrow. Might not do a car video tomorrow. Do a rare house video. Different from other places. This will be the first time I do a video in this part of the house. If I do anything. Depends on what me and the boys are doing tomorrow. So, anyway, that's all I got for now, yo. I want y'all to really think about that shit. And like I said, if anybody has my solutions, like, well, men need to work to be select. I don't have any other one. Because I haven't seen a way around all this shit yet. Because you ain't going to change female nature. You know, it would take an act of God, or whatever term you want to use, to change female nature. All these guys trying to get them to change and be logical, man, it's stupid as shit. You fantasizing. Women aren't going to be who they're going to be. It is. Don't get mad. Because that's why everybody is on this goddamn planet. You know, she had to take your father's seed. She had to take that seed in. Because like I said before, because I shared that article of a woman, they choosing from the time, their egg is choosing from the time the sperm come in. I'll put that article again in the description box. That's how deep that shit is. So men need to say, okay, we got to just work to be the best. And everybody ain't going to make it. Because I can say all this, they can watch all these videos. But if you ain't there, you should start seeing the rumblings of it really as a teenager. I'm just saying, you should see the rumblings of it as a teenager. If you don't see just a bit there, it's, you might have a tough life. I'm just sorry. I'm just got to be real with you, you know? And if somebody has a solution to it, I welcome it. Seriously, I welcome it. Seriously, if somebody come up with a solution, all I can do is present my solution. But if somebody got a solution to truly help non-select, especially those who, for whatever reason, can't do the work. And let me just be clear. Like I said, it ain't the physicality. It really ain't. That's going to help, but and you can get body game. But like I said, you got to get your mind right. That's tough. That's tough. So anyway, that's all I got for today, y'all. I'll get back with y'all. Peace and blessings.